You're looking for a new construction home without that ridiculous price tag. Well, you're in the right place because today we're in Brooksville, Florida, checking out Benton Hills by Meritage Homes. What is going on, YouTube? If you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I just quickly want to take a second to enjoy how quiet it is out here in Brooksville. It is absolutely peaceful. You're surrounded by cow pastures, for now at least, until all of these developers in the surrounding area start to develop these properties just like the one we're in today. If you've been tuning into my channel recently, then you know a few weeks ago, I was in Paris checking out another community from Meritage Homes, and that was Salt Meadows. Now, I thought those were affordable until I came up here and the prices absolutely slash the ones in that competing community. But we're gonna get to check out 3 of their 4 models today. This is the Yellowstone, which you would have seen in my last video in Salt Meadows. So we're gonna go ahead and skip that one today, but let's jump right into this. Now, before we get into the models, I do want to preface this video as usual by letting you know I am a licensed agent in the state of Florida. So if you have real estate goals, questions, or dreams of moving to Florida, especially the Tampa Bay area, I would be honored to earn your real estate business and help you facilitate your move down here and make your transaction as seamless as possible. All right, so we've got a lot of square footage to cover between these 3 models. So let's jump right on in and check them out. So this first model is the Denali, and we're gonna work through these from smallest to largest. So this model is on a 40-foot home site, which means your front facade runs 40 feet across. Now, this home, the sales consultant, my boy Jeremy, says this model is perfect for young families, maybe with 1 or 2 kids, who are maybe first-time homeowners, who don't need a ton of space, because it becomes harder to manage as your home gets bigger. So this one he described as a Miami apartment, New York apartment, city apartment vibes, where all of your living spaces are pretty close quarters, but you still have, you know, a designated space for each one, whereas your kitchen, dining room, and living room are all adjacent, but it's very clear where each one starts and ends. So the primary suite in this model is at the back of the home, and you can see here it's a very spacious primary bedroom, and then you have your primary bathroom, toilet to the back, you have your dual sink and shower, stand-up shower across, and then you have a huge walk-in closet, doorless, which I like sometimes. Sometimes doors cut off some of the space that you could utilize. So having that doorless walk-in closet there, I think, is a great use of the space. And then exiting the primary suite, you have your glass sliders that would lead to your back patio. And each one does get pavers there at the back with a concrete patio. And then at the front of the home, you have your first guest bathroom. You have a huge laundry room, especially when in this price point, sometimes you have to cut that out, but Meritage Homes does a great job of including that. And then you have guest bedroom 1 and guest bedroom 2 for a total of 3, and your garage entrance is right here. So we're in the Bluebell, and this is the first time the channel has seen this model. Now this is on a 50-foot home site, and as you can see, it really opens up as soon as you enter the home with a very large foyer, and then immediately to the left, as we've seen in previous builds, you have your first 2 guest bedrooms, and then a guest bathroom right at the front of the home. And then going down the foyer to your right, you have another large laundry room with garage access, great utilization of the space and flow of energy into the home. And then you walk into this huge, great room. It really opens up and creates an open floor plan concept that makes for a perfect transition and flow throughout the home. I absolutely love what they've done with the colorway in this model. They've chose like a blue-green, oceanic, beachy vibe, which I absolutely love. And then off the back of your dining room there is your slider to, again, get to your patio. And then at the back of the home, just off the living room, you have your primary suite, much bigger than the last one, I must say. And then your primary ensuite bathroom, again, double sinks, glass stand-up shower instead of a curtain. And then again, they went with the motif of the doorless walk-in closet. Now you do have a little bit of corner space back there. It does bend that you can't see. Certainly not among the largest closets we've seen on the channel, but still big enough for his and hers to enjoy. Now we're going to jump to our third and final model of today, and the largest of the three models we're going to get to see. And we're going to compare how all three of them show against each other. So this is the hibiscus, and it quickly became very clear why this is the most expensive model here in this community by Meritage Homes. So the first thing right off the bat, you have your two guest bedrooms to the left as soon as you enter the home, similar to the last model. But one thing that stuck out to me was in this first guest bedroom, you have this huge walk-in closet. Now for a guest bedroom, this is like massive. You don't see that too often. And then, of course, they share a bathroom, but you have this one staged as an office. Now, in today's world, you do have several people that work from home, so I think it's genius when builders stage at least one of the bedrooms as an office, but I think they were able to do so here because this is a 4-bedroom opposed to a 3. Now, off to the right of the foyer here, you have another full guest bathroom and bedroom on the opposite side of the hall, which almost makes for a private suite for an in-law or a guest that wants their own, private space to, live in. Then at the end of the foyer to the left here, we have a laundry room, another decent size laundry space for you to be comfortable in. And then entering the great room, we again follow the concept of open floor plan. And what I love that they've done with this model is the colorway. They went with browns and blacks and have created this contrast against the white that creates for a beautiful balance of energy, but still allows natural light to flow and spread into the home. And again, following the same pattern that we've seen in the other two models, you have your primary suite at the back of the home, and this one is absolutely massive. And again, as usual with every primary bedroom, you have your ensuite bathroom. And one thing that stuck out to me was you have this little nook in the corner that almost makes for like a linen closet. But again, it's doorless. And they went with the same motif of doorless walk-in closet. Now this one is elongated. You can see I'm still going, and boom, I finally made it to the back. Perhaps the largest walk-in closet we've seen probably in a couple weeks, other than last week's video. That was absolutely insane. But for the affordable homes that I've shown on my channel, certainly one of the competitors. Now, before we head out for good, I'm going to head back outside and discuss some of the developments, amenities, and costs associated with living here, as well as what's going on in the surrounding area. All right, so to recap, we started in the smallest model, working our way down to the largest model, and that applies to both size and cost. Now, the homes in this community, believe it or not, are starting in just the mid 200,000. So you can get into a brand new home, sizable, a lot of living space, and all the amenities for just $250,000, starting in about the $250,000 range. Honestly, that cannot be beat. And now, while again, it is peaceful, let's just soak that in real quick. It's very quiet, and I must say a little bit desolate out here. You're surrounded by cow pastures, but that is kind of the trade-off when you're talking about new construction for this price. Now, even though you are pretty far out the way, you're still only an hour drive into Tampa. So if you wanted to get to Tampa International Airport or downtown Tampa, you're looking at about an hour flat drive, which isn't too bad for being all the way out in Brooksville. Now, this is just phase one of Benton Hills for Meritage Homes. So they don't currently have the amenity center under construction quite yet, but it is coming soon, and it will feature a resort style pool, a dog park, potentially a playground, and maybe even a little more if they end up getting the plans approved and being able to squeeze everything into that space. Now, a major thing that my boy Jeremy pointed out to me before I stepped into these models today was that the same company that has been developing the Metro Lagoons in both Wesley Chapel and Waimama is doing the same exact thing out here in Brooksville. So in about 1 to 2 years time, there's going to be another brand new lagoon right here in Brooksville that is ultimately going to push the value up of these properties in the immediate surrounding area. Now, there's about 4 or 5 other developers starting communities just like this one, and it's only a matter of time before Brooksville starts to become developed and the property values go up. So this could be a really great starting point for a young family to come in and get a brand new home at an affordable price and start building equity for the future to come. Now, of course, you have the price of the home, but you can't ignore those fees and maybe some unexpected costs that you may have living here. So I want to let you guys know that there is an HOA in this community, and it is a whopping $21 per month, and that's going to include all your basic utilities and of course access to the amenity center. Now, there is a CDD in Benton Hills, and it's going to range depending on your home site. If you have a 40-foot home site, it's going to be $185 per month, and if you have a 50-foot home site, it is going to be $201 per month. Certainly competitive from what we've seen from other builders in the past. But again, Meritage is one of the most prominent affordable home builders here in the Tampa Bay area. Now, with so much development going on in this Brooksville area, they do plan on rezoning some of these communities and neighborhoods for the new schools that they plan on developing. But for right now, Benton Hills, this community is zoned for Eastside Elementary, DS Parrott Middle School, and Hernando High School. So if you have kids and plan on moving into this community, these are the schools your kids will be attending. Now, before we head out, I just want to take one more moment to really soak up this peacefulness out here in Brooksville, because it's only going to be a couple years before all of this is completely developed and you see homes just like this everywhere. Now, I hope I was able to answer everything about this community, but if you have questions about Benton Hills, Meritage Homes, or just the Tampa Bay area in general, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to drop my contact information on screen. And remember, I am a licensed agent in the state of Florida, so if you have goals, questions, or dreams about moving to Florida, I would be honored to earn your business and help you make your transition here as smooth as possible. With that being said, I'm going to head out. So if you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Peace.